Ladies and gentlemen, good evening and welcome to Partnership of Greatness, or National Matters. My wife is not here. I've got a wonderful speaker in the studio, and we are counting down to Kitwe. And I must say that tomorrow, by the grace of God, we'll have to give you a wonderful program that you watch. Because by the special grace of God, my wife, Tim, and I, we will be in Kitwe in readiness for the program on Friday. We are set, we are geared, and may the Lord bless the people of Zambia. But in the studio with me, we have one of the partners of Camnet TV family, and this is no other than Dr. Kachaka. Dr. Kachaka, welcome to National Matters.
Thank you so much, Pastor. It's my pleasure to be on this program.
Amen.
It's an important program because it's building our economy and building our citizens and building ourselves.
Amen.
So that we claim our position as great people. We are made as kings.
Absolutely.
Sure.
I want to ask Dr. Kachaka, have people reached you or are they reaching you? Because Camnet TV, we are flooded with inquiries about you, about Dr. Salanda, Mr. Salanda, and all of you. Is Camnet being of help to people reaching you?
I should say that every single day, I have a minimum of 30 people reaching to me physically. Those who call are more than 100 per day. And each day, starting at 05 a.m., I am visiting farms to go and assess their land for fish farming. I have been in Mazabuka, I've been in Kafiwe, in Katuba, I've been in Chivombo, Lusaka, Chongwe, all over. It's every day. So on daily basis, we as a team of the Breathing Fish Farm, we are visiting at least up to 10 farms to assess and to design fish ponds for them and cages. This is happening every single day. And Zambians are responding because of the program on Camnet TV. The rate of empowerment is really, really, really alarming, and Zambians have come on board in large numbers to grow fish. So they are growing fish now, even in their yards, even in tanks, even in drums now. This is happening, and so, and it covers everybody. The youths are involved, and the elderly people, almost everybody is involved. And so we are seeing a situation where really our goal as Breathing Fish Farm of making Zambia a fish basket of the SADC region, I'm seeing it in the coming 2-3 years. Zambia will be the fish basket of the SADC region. And the poverty we are singing about today, through fish farming, shall be significantly reduced. Because as I said earlier, one pond is able to keep the entire family. And in Zambia, almost every one of us, we have water and land in our village. And that water has been flowing for several years now, and we are praying to God for money. So we want, the vision we have is to ensure that each village in Zambia should own a pond. Each church in Zambia should own one pond. And each community should own a pond. Each family should own a pond. This we can do because we have enough land, we have enough water. Now on the water, both the surface water and the underground water we have. And so the vision, I think that by the help of Camnet TV and the government, we are almost reaching there. So the crusades have started, and we continue to empower those who are willing. So we are working with everybody. We don't abandon you. we work with you, we walk with you in this journey of aquaculture. Because in fish farming, the issue is that if you are a beginner, you need a mentor. Without a mentor, things are able to go easily wrong.
Now, yeah.
And we as Breathing Fish Farm, the people we train, we stand by them, we walk with them, we visit them, and until they have matured and are able to grow fish on their own, we don't abandon them.
Dr. Kachaka, before I come to the questions that I've lined up, I want to find out. Just help me as a lay person, okay? 1 pond for fish from fingerlings to harvesting, it takes how many months?
Okay, fish farming is all about your management. If we are good at management of water quality, one, and if we have stocked a fast-growing fish species, yes, if these two factors have been met, and the feed we are feeding the fish is quality feed, we can be able to grow fish in 4 months only.
4 months.
4 months only.
Ready for selling.
Ready for selling. Especially if the species of fish that we have stocked is Tilapia Orochromis niloticus. This fish is fast growing. If we manage our water quality well and the feed is quality, 4 months is sufficient. But we normally say fish matures in 6 months. Yeah, so that is ultimate, 6 months. But if we are good at management, 4 months is sufficient.
4 months is sufficient.
Depending on the species of fish we have stocked, because other species are fast growing.
And the quality of water.
And the quality of water. Because fish is the only species where the food or the feed for fish is in the same environment in which its excreta also is. And therefore, the water requires that it is fresh all the time to sweep away or remove the fish excreta, and that will increase the appetite of the fish to eat. So normally, and that's why we emphasize on training, people should come and be trained. Because if the water in the pond is stagnant water, because it's stagnant water, the fish excreta is accumulating in the pond. And if we don't put in a bit of fresh water to try and clear the fish excreta, the fish loses appetite. And that's why I'm talking about the issue of water quality. That is an important element. Yeah, so as long as we manage the aspect of water quality and we have stocked a fast-growing species, we can be harvesting fish every 4 months. 4 months. But normally we say fish grows in 6 months. Yeah, so 6 months is ultimate. But we can have 3 harvests per year. That is possible, that is doable, and farmers are doing it already.
Now, Dr. Kachaka, you know that my wife and I are passionate about the people of Zambia and poverty eradication. I believe we can eradicate poverty.
Significantly so. The poverty in Zambia is because of our mindset.
It is self-inflicted.
Self-inflicted. We are a people who have eyes and our eyes can see. We cannot see the abundant wealth we have. That's why you find a foreigner will come into Zambia, they see our wealth, and they employ us on our wealth. They employ us on our own soil, on our own water. They employ us. These are foreigners. And we are laboring with shovels and whatever, pushed to and fro on our own estate.
And the money does not stay
The
here.
money goes away. You know? That is what we are refusing now. We are saying no to that now. God, He gave us this land. These are our resources. We cannot be slaves on our own resources and people employing us. No. We must employ foreigners here. That is, we are here now to show Zambians the amount of wealth we already have. We are seated on God. But because our eyes, we looked at God and we thought it was the core.
Oh, we looked at it and we thought it was gravel.
Indeed. So,
Yeah.
you see, it is strange to see that we have had water all this long. Is passing through our villages day and night. And we don't have a blanket in a small hut. We are picking phone calls and calling our nephews and uncles in Lusaka to say, send us money in the village.
When we have water.
When we have more money ourselves, more than the people in town.
Hey.
You know? Yeah. You know? So, we are saying now, these resources we have, the water resource we have, it must add value to us as owners of the resource. God has given us already. It is strange that today, you go to Apula or you go to Mongu, you go to Southern Province, you go to Solwezi, you find the rivers, streams, lakes, dams flowing, but without fish.
And what you are saying, Dr. Kachaka, I was listening to my friend's documentary. You know that in California now, to sink a borehole, some people are going to 280 meters
deep.
300 meters deep. And now in California, once you are found watering the lawn, they pass the law, you can be arrested. Yeah. So some millionaires are sending water bowsers out of state of California to water there. And imagine how much money they are spending. But here, just outside this church, borehole 15 meters, you hit the water.
Hit the water. Okay.
And you are saying people are seeing the water and still complaining that they are poor.
Still are complaining they are poor. More importantly, they are spending weeks and weeks in fasting and prayer for money. We are in slavery of the mind. The church also, the way the gospel has come also has enslaved our minds.
Are you talking about the way I preach?
No, you are different.
You must be clear. I hear you, Doctor. I hear you. As pastors, we have contributed.
Yes, we have.
Our churches are full of lazy people. Full of people without jobs. Full of people without ideas. And as long as we can pray for them, they sense the presence of God, that's okay. And we think that's a gospel.
No. The gospel we find in Scripture, starting from the book of Genesis, is go and have dominion, rulership, go and have control over the fish of the sea, the birds of the air, over the animals of the forest. We are the kings over all these kingdoms. God says, I've put you in the garden to work it. Before we knew how to pray, knew how to worship or sing, the work that we're given was to work, physical work. Physical work is worship. When we don't physically work, we have refused to worship God.
Dr. Musharika, let me interrupt you. We'll get into this. You see, my heart is burdened for this nation. I come from John Howard, from a very humble background, but I have never been a partner of poverty, not at one time. Even when I was in poverty, I hated poverty like no man's business. But God has helped me to navigate my way out. Now, 2 days ago, I had Professor Reda, Egyptian,
Yes.
one of the top scientists in the world. I don't know whether, I want you to give me your qualifications so that people may hear there. Because when we were chatting with Professor Reda, I wish I had asked him this question.
Yes.
I'll tell you why I'm asking for your qualification. Afterwards, or before, Professor Reda said something. He said, you know, Pastor Chiluba, I've got, he even mentioned on TV actually, he said, I've got 2 master's degrees, several degrees, 2 PhDs, I'm a scientist. And my president sent me to Zambia, he says several diplomas. But what he said in our private discussion, with all those degrees,
Yes.
when I look for a job, the job cannot pay me what 1 hectare of land can pay me.
True.
Do you agree with that?
I totally agree. And also, even the degrees. Today in Zambia, we have more people educated, more than in 1964. More degrees on the street today, more PhDs today, and more professors today. The question is, of what value are these degrees, PhDs and professorials to Zambia? Of what value is that degree to the country or to your family? You know? So that is where the challenge is. We are getting degrees and we think employment. For me, a degree holder is an industry. If you have a degree, you are an industry. You are a creator of jobs. You should not think to be employed. You have the skill and the competences. You transform your skills and competences into services and products. That is how you build the economy. So, it is true. It is true because 1 fish pond, for example, 1 pond, for example, if we take a pond of 50 meters length and 25 meters width, and we stock about 8 fingerlings per square meter, which is stocking density, and we'll have a total of 10,000 fish in that pond. And we allow the fish to grow to a level of 400 grams average body weight at harvest time. It means we have 4 tons of fish in 1 pond. Today, we are selling fish at 40 kwacha per kilo. It means in 1 pond, in 4 months or 5 months, we have 160,000 kwacha. Tell me, Pastor, who will be able to pay me that kind of money in Zambia? Who? So, the professor is right. Value is in the things we do. We are enslaving ourselves to sit in the job. Yet we are kings. We deserve better. Our worth is more than the employer will give us. Yeah. So if we are self-employed, we get more value. Yeah. So in our respective areas, if we create services and products and package them, that is where we get the value. Yeah. You know? So unlike staying with the mentality, people 60 years, people are crying for a job. I have seen that 60 years with gray hair, people are staggering, they are crying for a salary. That is failure. You have failed yourself, failed your family, and failed the community, and failed the country. Yeah. You know? So, that is the issue. So, the mindset requires to change and change now. Then we'll be able to see the value within ourselves, and to the community, and to the nation. So, if every Zambian, in their areas of specialization, they went out there and created services and products, nobody will be singing about Zambia's economy sinking. The economy would just boom at once. Even with the government, the issue of pointing fingers at the government, is being unrealistic and failure to understand. You and me, we need to go to the government and say, please, in my area of specialization, I've done this, I have reached here. Now,
and I've employed so many people.
You lift me from here to there. Okay? Yes. Buy me a tool or an equipment for me to do more. That is how the government would come in.
Which brings me to my first question, Dr. Salanda, Dr. Kachaka. When you tell somebody watching, Team Cabinet, build a pond, do this pond, there is 160,000 kwacha, you're going to be getting this. Are there no challenges in the fish farming? You speak like, when I just make the pond, the money will be flowing in. Are there challenges in fish farming?
I should begin by saying, there is no venture or project without challenges. In fact, if the project or venture has no challenges, don't even try to venture into it. It wastes your time. It has no value. All things of value, you should work for them. And when you achieve them, you have this glow of happiness and joy.
Absolutely.
So in fish farming, the challenges are there. Number one, the biggest of the challenges we have as fish farmers in Zambia is the issue of maintenance of water quality. Because a number of fish farmers, we draw our water from the underground, from the boreholes. We don't have rivers and streams around us. About 85% of farmers are drawing water from the borehole. Now, from the borehole, it means what? It means that there is a submersive pump there. So it means also that we need power. Either ZESCO power or solar or maybe a generator to allow us to pump the water from the borehole to the fish pond. Now, if we look at the tariffs of ZESCO, they are too high. They are too high, and as farmers, we are struggling to maintain the water quality in the fish ponds because of the high tariffs of ZESCO. So I would appeal that since 85% of farmers are drawing water from underground, there should be a special consideration of these farmers so that they have a tariff of their own to be able to produce more fish for the market. Already in the budget of next year, there is an increase on import duties, meaning that there won't be enough fish from outside. The move is important to assist we as local fish farmers to grow more fish.
There is, say that, again, the importation
duty has been raised in the next year's budget.
It has been raised.
Yes.
So if you want to import fish,
it becomes expensive.
It becomes expensive,
yes. Yeah. So in that case, the move is applauded. As fish farmers, we applaud our government for the giant step taken. So that we as fish farmers are challenged locally to produce more fish for the market.
That's right.
That is important. We thank government for that. But the situation right now is that the tariffs of ZESCO are too high and fish farmers are not able to maintain the water quality in the ponds. Some have scaled down because of that. So there should be a consideration, either a solar pump scheme, the way it is in Uganda, Kenya, and so on, or at least you register the fish farmers and give them at least a tariff of their own to be able to grow more fish to satisfy our local market. 2, the price of fish feed has gone up. From March today, we are getting a bag of feed now at 400 kwacha. And that is almost affecting everybody in the fish farming industry. Fish feed has become too expensive now.
May I ask you, Doc, since the tariffs have gone up, you are saying the import duty will be high next year.
Yes, according to the budget.
According to the budget. Do you import feed, or it's made locally, or it can be made here?
Feed is made locally. Feed is made locally in Zambia, in Siavonga here, and also in Lusaka here. We have a number of feed companies making feed in Zambia. Some are local companies, and some are foreign companies. But the issue and materials, all the inputs are local materials. Now, the challenge is the price of feed has gone up 4 times this year alone. Yes. Because in March, a bag of feed was going at 85 kwacha. Today, same bag is going at 400 kwacha. So
why is it so?
The issue has been that according to the feed companies, the issue is that because of the COVID situation, the inputs have become scarce and limited. These cassavas and maize, bran and soya and so on. So they are failing to find the inputs in the quantities required. So because of the scarcity of inputs, and the inputs have gone up as well, so them also they have to increase also on the price.
Now this is where we talk about food chain, Dr.
Yes.
Sana Kachaka. Because you've mentioned the cassava,
Yes.
you've mentioned wheat,
Yes.
you've mentioned what?
Soya.
Soya.
Yes.
And those things, and this is the reason why we are here,
Excellent.
can't they be grown here by farmers? I'm taking soya, someone is taking cassava, someone is... Isn't this the same thing we are talking about, that as Zambians, let's wake up?
This is the issue we are promoting, that we should work in the value chain. Where are you in the value chain? Okay. Are you a producer of the inputs? All right? Or are you a transporter of the fish? Are you a grower of the fish? Are you a producer of the fingerlings in the hatchery? So it is important that we meet all of us, we assembled all of us, so that those who grow these inputs should expand, because we have enough land and there's enough market locally. Yeah. So that if we have more of the inputs, the price will be driven a bit lower. Yeah. So we need to discuss and look at how do we add value at each stage of the value chain. In that way, I think we'll be able to produce more fish as required for the market. So, and that's why we are also saying that maybe if we could also have a feed scheme. If we have a feed scheme, the way others are doing, where you can get any number of feed you want and you pay at harvest time. Yes. That is how others are doing it in Thailand, in Malaysia, in Egypt, and so on. We can do the same here. Except we are a people in one industry and we don't talk to each other.
My goodness.
Those in hatcheries are on their own hatcheries. We in production on fish, we are also on our own. Those in transportation are on their own. Those who produce inputs are on their own. So we need to be organized. The issue is organization. So that we see how we work together, we interoperate in the value chain. Yes.
Meaning if I have cassava,
yes,
I can be depended on by you people.
Oh, yes.
And the cassava, there are people who may not even think of growing it at that level. They grow it for Kapiri, Kapiri bus station. You are passing at Kalundwe, that kind of thing.
It is a value crop.
It is, eh?
Yes, and that's why the issue of thinking maize should evaporate from our minds.
Really?
Yes, we can grow a lot of these crops which have significant value. Where you determine yourself the price of your cassava or your wheat or your rice or your sorghum or your millet.
And the cassava doesn't need the watering. And
No.
Look at that.
Yes, indeed. So, feed is one of the issues on the market. Feed is quite high.
And also the tariffs, ZESCO tariffs.
These two are major. Then the third is the cost of pond liners. The pond liners are those thick plastics that we line or we lay inside the pond to hold and retain the water. Because a number of the soils we have, they are not clay soil. So these are sandy, loamy soils, and water seeps through. So because of that, we need the pond liners to hold and retain the water. Now, the pond liners are made in China or South Africa. They are damn expensive in Zambia, extremely expensive. Yeah. And so, since Zambia is a friend to China, our appeal is that, and since Zambia now is the largest producer of fish in SADC region, for now, yes, we are. We are.
Zambia?
Zambia, we are. So, it is important that our government brings a Chinese investor to invest in the manufacture of pond liners within the country.
Now you have gone wrong.
Now we have gone wrong there.
You have gone wrong.
Yes, I will invest it.
Why should we bring a Chinese to invest? Why can't Zambia train me? Or give me the machinery, Dr. Kachaka? This is what we are talking about.
That is very, very important, especially as we look at local empowerment. We can be able to get a few Zambians, even one Zambian, and he is empowered or she is empowered to buy all the machinery and bring it to Zambia and make pond liners here.
Absolutely.
That we can do. So Rwanda already has done that.
And dear Camnet TV viewers, this is one idea Dr. Kachaka has just floated out to you businessmen. Wunda bwakulanda fiat twaliwina. This idea he has brought. Why can't we have even 5 business people that can invest in that? Look at this, Dr. Kachaka. Why I'm saying that let's go national. You know that Dangote has built the biggest refinery in the world.
Yes, he has.
Dangote.
Yes.
And when I was looking at this thing, is Nigerian.
Oh, yes.
The whole world. People are flocking there to watch what a Nigerian has done. What about fish liner?
We can do.
So those people with money, I thank you the way you brought it out, that Zambians, we are not united.
No.
We don't know who is doing what. You know. In Bemba, Dr. Kachaka, I'll teach you Bemba.
Yes, please.
There is a saying, you know, the armpit hair.
Yes.
The beards.
The beards.
And the hair here.
The hair here.
It's named differently.
Okay.
Imiefu, whatever.
Yes.
In Bemba we say, it's because of lack of coordination. That's why it's named differently. Otherwise, it's beards. It's hair.
It's
whatever.
all of it.
You know, working in isolation.
In isolation.
And this is what is happening in Zambia. We are not united, but thanks be to God for these programs we've begun. We must get united.
We should.
Fish liner manufacturers, we need them here.
We need them here. For now, even Angola, the new government in Angola, they are saying they don't want to import food, fish.
Really?
From Brazil, Chile, and Argentina across the ocean. They are saying they want fish from Zambia, Zimbabwe, here. They have opened up, but we don't have enough fish, even just for ourselves.
For the local market?
No. So, fish, Pastor, is bought. It is still in the water. The buyers wait for 3 months. As I'm talking now, buyers have been waiting. They are still waiting. Sunday I sold fish, yes. It was just 2 buyers and they swept everything. And the others, they went without the fish. So, there is value in fish farming. Now, there is also a way of getting involved in fish farming cheaply. Yes, without all these expenses of infrastructure. The cheaper way, please, I would say, all the Zambians, especially you, our grandfathers, our grandmothers in Mporokoso, in Ruwingu, in Kawambwa, in Chipata, in Mongo, in Lungevungu, in Choma, wherever, you who is seated on a stream, a river flowing day and night, I envy you. Because if there is a river near your land, near your village, you are a stinking rich person who is poor. Because for you, in that case, you will dig fish ponds cheaply. Your ponds will be earthen ponds near to the river. No need for a pump. No need for a borehole or solar or Zesco power or generator. No need for all those investments. It's just digging the pond and you divert Shifilia. The water will move out of the river and move into the pond. It ends there. There is no other investment required, and the growth rate of your fish will be very high. Why? The fish will be growing in a natural environment. So, please, for you who are seated on a river, on a lake, on a dam, on a stream, you don't need to pray. Your prayer to God is, you give me only a good body and good health. Simply that.
And a long life.
And a long life. You can be involved in fish farming very cheaply, very easily. So even you, our parents in town, as you are buying land, look for land where there is a river, a stream, a lake, a dam. Then you do your fish farming cheaply, easily, without stress.
Oh, Jehovah. Doctor, I can tell you my heart. I don't know why I'm saying I'm late. This information, those of you that are in Kitwe, Dr. Kachaka and I are in Lusaka today. Tomorrow we will be in Kitwe. Just for one day, I've been asking and begging the people that whatever you do, just get a day on Friday. Come and listen. And days are getting closer. And you know what, Dr. Kachaka? Some of the most people that I sympathize with are pastors and bishops. Because I've been a pastor for a long time. Since 82, I've been a pastor. But this information that you people are flooding, I've never had it. And this is why we preach messages out of frustration. That's not the gospel. No. That's not the gospel. And you know, instead of pastors, we unite, like you are saying.
Yes.
To come to Kitwe.
Yes.
And sit there for a change. Listen to you technocrats. How we can make money.
You see, Pastor, in terms of our pastors, our reverends, our bishops, in every church or congregation, even when, Pastor, you don't have land yourself, you have so much land in your church. There are people with land and their land is full of snakes within your congregation, your church. We can say, we go and dig fish ponds on that idle land. as a church. Then the way of doing it is like this. We dig a fish pond for the widows, a fish pond of the orphans, a fish pond for the pastor, the fish pond of projects of the church.
Can you imagine that?
So we have these ponds. It is shameful to see our pastors begging. When the God of heaven has put them in our hands, that as you eat, remember the stranger and the Levite, the pastor. You know, today, we are letting the pastors down, yet there's land. So, that land in the church, that land which our members have in the church, this week, may we go and demarcate fish ponds. I'm available. I will be in a work suit. I'll get the tape. I'll get the pegs. I'll get the hammer to go and design fish ponds. The first pond is the pond for the pastor. So that our pastor is paid by the pond. The money we are giving him is nothing. The 10 pin, 8 pin, 2 pin, 14 pin is nothing. You know, we need the pastor to be able to live well as God intended. So we dig the pond for the pastor, the pond for the orphans, and the pond for the widows, and the pond of the projects of the church. You find a number of structures of the church are pending. We go and beg money from our politicians, our leaders. Yet the God of heaven has given us all the wealth. We have the land and the water, both the surface water and the underground water. You know, we as a church, the moment we beg, we compromise the gospel.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Absolutely.
So we must give to the politician as a church. Why? We are heads, not tails. When we beg, we bring ridicule to the holy name of Jehovah. We are created to lead in every area. We cannot be begging. It's shameful for us. Yeah. So,
and this is why the church is compromised.
Yes. So the church is compromised because of the begging hand. Yeah. We should stand firm to preach the gospel as it is. To do that, we must stand on our own feet economically, and we are able to do so.
And I can tell you, Dr. Kachaka, what you are saying, this is awesome. It's powerful. Do you know that even some pastors in Chongwe, pastors in Chinsali, pastors in Imbala, they would rather, Nganyayama churches where they transfer you. Once they transfer a person from Lusaka,
yes,
to Vubwi, you even start saying the man is a witch. You don't know that God has transferred you
yes,
to a wealthy place.
Yes.
Where there is a river.
Yes.
Where you can make the pond.
Yes.
And begin feeding your entire congregation. But we think in church, as long as you are in town, people pay a lot of money and the tithe is good, the salary is good. And when you think of that salary, Dr. Kachaka,
yes,
I can tell you,
yes,
most of the pastors, it's from 1,000 to 10,000 kwacha. If you are getting 10,000, you have a lot of people. And you are smiling.
Oh, no.
What can 5 pounds give you?
No.
Isn't that a joke?
It is a joke, Pastor. The issue here is that we should begin to have the tithe in kind as well. We should begin to give the whole pond as a tithe. Yes. Give a cow as tithe. Give chickens 1,000 as tithe. And that is doable only when we have land. So it is important that we utilize the resources we already have. So it is important we open our eyes to see the opportunities we already have within our own hands. So there's no need for us to continuously stick to town. And also the syndrome of selling land. Please, 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 do not sell your land.
Jehovah God.
The first thing the God of heaven ushered or gave to Adam was land.
Land.
He gave him land. To Abraham, he gave him land.
Land.
Without land, you are a slave. Without land, you are poor. Do not sell land. Land, you venture into partnerships on your land if you want, not selling land.
Two of my church members, Dr. Kachaka, after you people spoke in this government complex last week,
Yes, Pastor.
two of my church members, they drove to Mukusha.
Yes.
One is a business, two of them are businessmen. They went to acquire land there.
Amazing.
They said, Pastor, we want these things we are hearing. We will put them into practice.
Excellent. Excellent.
And one person just called, and another person came yesterday saying, Pastor, you are speaking to a millionaire.
Amen.
You people have opened my eyes. The land which he had, 50 hectares. And he says, I didn't know that I had a lot of money.
It's a lot.
50 hectares.
It is too huge, extremely huge. And so, the pastor, fish farming, the Chinese that I have trained in fish farming in Zambia,
The Chinese.
they came, I trained them in fish farming at my farm there. Chinese. They have bought land in Kafue Flats there. They are growing fish. They are calling it fish gold. They are equating fish to gold.
Now we'll talk about your training. We'll talk about your training. And that training, because you see those now that you are training everyone. Can you imagine a Chinese
Yes.
leaving Guangzhou
Guangzhou to
to
come.
come and be trained by a Zambian?
Yes, here.
And tomorrow you hear what those Chinese will do.
17 of them.
And the Zambians,
Yes.
we are just watching. This is why I beg you by the message of God, come on Friday. If you are on the Copper Belt, Solwezi, Mwinilunga there, on Friday, make a date with us. Just the day after tomorrow, we will be there. Look at this, Dr. Kachaka. There is one farm in India. That farm is harvesting millions of dollars. Now they've got the ponds. I don't know. Those ponds have now gone to about 100. Big ponds.
Big ponds.
And in each pond, every week, they are harvesting. Every week, they are harvesting. That's massive planning. Mr. Director, give me that clip so that the people of Zambia may see what God is doing in other countries. These things you are teaching, Dr. Kachaka.
সব দিয়ে দেবে বস্তা সব দিয়ে দেবে
have you seen that fish? And
I have.
That is catfish. Just here in Congo. Milongate. Just here in Congo. It's $3. Depending on the size. $5. One. And the market can't be satisfied. Look at that fish, Doc. What are we talking about there?
You see, Pastor, as I sit here, blood is boiling in my body right now. I feel I'm doing nothing. When I look at the waters of Western Province and Southern Province and Luapula Province, Muchinga Province, and there is no fish. Yet I see things like that. We are able to reach that level, Pastor.
Amen.
We have enough water resources. And our water quality is very good. The levels of dissolved oxygen in our waters is about 8 milligrams per liter. Meaning that our waters are rich in dissolved oxygen to be able to stock the fish. The pH range of our waters is always about 8. You know, it is already within the range of growing fish.
Oh, Jehovah.
We are a fish farming country, Pastor. At times I wonder, we are waiting for what? We have the water. The fingerlings are available, and our government has done very well. We now have hatcheries in every province. So the fingerlings are available in the quantities we require them. And the water is there.
Hey.
You know? We are able to change the fortunes of our families in 6 months. 6 months.
6 months, eh?
The family will just rise up like that. It just zooms up. 6 months.
So when we say 3 years, it's enough for one to turn a millionaire, like that.
3 years, we are able to create millionaires through fish farming in Zambia.
Just through fish farming.
Just through the area of fish farming alone, we are able to achieve that goal. You see, Pastor.
And let me mention to you, Camnet TV viewers, and those of you coming to Kitwe, when you come, keep 200 kwacha for the copy of his book. We don't have enough. Those of you that will be there, whether you want to go into avocado, you want to go into village chicken, whatever, we are bringing specialists from across board. Keep the book of that fish farming. And those of you in Lusaka, come to Healing Word Ministries right here at church. You can purchase a copy so cheap, 200 kwacha. You read and you have knowledge. Please, Nami Papata, Zambians, let's wake up. Dr. Kachaka, just from watching that clip,
yes, Pastor.
Is that small money we are dealing with there?
Those are millions and billions of dollars. Now, we need in fish farming to ensure that each province we have a minimum of 100 farmers who are operating at that large scale.
This scale we have seen.
That scale we have seen, and that we are able to achieve. We are able to achieve that feat. We are able because we have everything we need. We have the expertise here. We have the expertise here. Men and women with skill are there. You know? So we have everything within in-house. So we should not now sit here and wait until our government moves. This country is ours. We should help our government. It's our country. It is us to build our economy ourselves. Let us move on our own as Zambians to work together and network to build this economy through fish farming. The president has led the way already. There was no Ministry of Livestock and Fisheries all these years beginning in 1964. The Department of Fisheries, it was a department of 3 people hidden under Ministry of Agriculture. It had no value. It took the head of state, the president of this nation, to say, no, this is not a department of 3 people. It is a sector. it is an industry, and he created a full ministry for it. Today, we are seeing the value. And in terms of employment, fish farming, it doesn't employ muntu mozi. It is a massive employer. One pond, we can employ 3 people. On one pond, and pay them well above the minimum wage. Now imagine the amount of jobs we can create if all of us are involved in fish farming. You know? Because all members of your family, you'll be able to employ the way I've done myself. They're employed. All my children, nephews, and brothers are employed by me. Go at my farm, you find them working. And other people I've brought in, we are working. So it's doable. It's easy to do.
Oh, Jehovah.
You know, I've compared the fish farming area and village chickens. In terms of the amount of work, there is less work in fish farming. As long as the fish is in the water, we are done.
And we are fighting.
The only job is just feeding them.
We are fighting, doctor. Year after year, I've had people whose children now are getting to 26. From the time they finish grade 12, they've just been wanting to get in the army, in the Air Force, or police. Year after year, when they could have started doing what we have seen there, creating jobs. Why wait for just to be a police officer?
No. You see, we as families, in every family, we have people seated in these families without any value. They are becoming a nuisance in these homes and families. Men and women, big men and big women seated. Now, let us get these men and women and put them to value. Because they should dig the pond behind the house. Even behind the house, you can dig a pond. Even a small pond, you can dig it behind your house. Nikablonga here, you can. People are doing that already as I speak. You know? So, these men, this is the machinery we have to grow the economy of the family. So, may we use these men and women to be able to add value in the family. So, we find a situation of syndrome of dependence, the breadwinner syndrome. The whole family and clan are dependent on one person, who they call the breadwinner. And the rest of us are bread eaters. So because of the breadwinner and the bread eaters who are many, we are bringing this single person down. So we should change from the syndrome of dependency. We need to think independent. You were born alone, you should have your own food. Yes, meet your own needs. So everybody in the family should not sit idle without doing anything. Everybody should be productive. So as a matter of fact, you must hold a press conference in your home. Call all your nephews and children and nieces, and each one of them should think of a project to do. And the biggest thing to do is fish, because fish is easy to do as long as the fish is in the water pasta. Even when we don't have the money to buy feed. Feed is expensive, yes, true. But even when we don't have the money to buy feed, there is no cause for high blood pressure. As long as the pond is fertilized, the fish will be able to grow big without any commercial feed thrown in the pond. The fish will be feeding on the natural food already in the pond. It will feed on detritus, on zooplankton, on algae, and phytoplankton. That is the natural food for the fish. So even you, our grandmother, don't worry about budgets. If there is water in the stream, we pick the boys in the village and dig the pond and divert the water. Finish. We as a cooperative will give you fingerlings to store. Leave them there.
Mr. Director, please give us the Kitwe advert. Those of you that are in Kitwe, I don't know Kitwe very well, but if you are coming from Undola on that highway, the first roundabout, Usakile there is a police station. Opposite, there is the Puma filling station. Next there is a Living Global Ministries, World Global Ministries for Bishop Nwaka. We will be there. And I want all the bishops, the pastors, for a change. Those of you who didn't pay, listen to the advert, but you say, some people were saying, Pastor, I will only have money tomorrow. Can I drive to the Copper Belt? I want to attend. Well, may the grace of God prevail. But give us that advert, Mr. Director.
Join us on the 9th of October 2020
for the National Martyrs Conference in Kitwe. Venue: Living Water Global Church in Wusakile, opposite Wusakile Police Station. Time: 08 hours to 17 hours. Theme: Unlocking Zambia's potential through raising a generation of generational thinkers. Charges: 510 kwacha, lunch inclusive. Please note that any payments done after Wednesday the 7th of October or on the actual day of the event will attract a penalty fee of 200 kwacha. Speakers will be Dr. Collins Kachaka.
If you have a 3 liters per second, then we say in science that you qualify to get involved in fish farming because you have adequate water.
Dr. Mushalika.
Don't overlisten to people who are happy to see you poor. They don't mean any good for us. There are no people who are developed by others. All people develop themselves.
Dr. Prosper Sievu, Engineer Bernard Chuala.
You are welcome so that we can create a critical mass of participants in the avocado industry. 1 hectare in 12 months will give you no less than 1 million kwacha. Hello?
Mr. Himbai.
You planted a deep-rooted plant into a shallow-rooted. So where is it getting the nutrients? Nowhere. So that plant, it will not give you the potence. You have failed at land preparation.
Mr. Salanda.
All of them lay eggs. You can use them for eggs and also for meat. They lay at least in a year a minimum of, with the lowest, a minimum of 100 chickens each.
All the dyes, all the paints, all the lubricants, they come from a plant called castor. 34% of our medicinal elements, they come from a castor root.
Not forgetting your host, Pastor Victoria and Moses Chidoba.
It is unthinkable.
Take note, limited numbers are due to COVID-19 restrictions. Make your payments through Airtel Mobile Money on 0979 75 3010 or on MTN Mobile Money on 0962 382535 or 0962 965883.
Really been impacting on so many levels.
This was really powerful and I'm glad I didn't miss this one.
This conference has been wonderful in the sense that the knowledge that we have acquired within a day is so much overwhelming.
Should this conference come to Western Province, I urge them all to come en masse.
I didn't know that there's potential in me and wealth was lying right where I was.
The way to go right now is agriculture.
The knowledge that we have gathered out of this meeting is immeasurable.
Hurry, don't miss this life-changing conference.
Dr. Kachaka, some of the questions I've prepared for you.
Yes.
You need to come and answer them after the conference.
Okay.
Or during the conference.
Sure.
Because you need to rest. Okay. I need to rest. Sure. You and I are traveling to Kitwe.
Sure, Pastor.
But let's ask the people to ask some questions.
Okay.
Because we can't just leave the people like that. Mr. Director, please open the lines just for a few minutes and we'll take the questions as they come and we will be able to answer the questions. And there is this question, Dr. Kachaka, which I just want to, while we are waiting for the people, yeah. There is this question I want. How do we determine the quality of feed to give the fish? Because if I run out of the natural, the feed which you are going to recommend,
yes,
I also have samp. I like samp. If I grind it to smallest particles, can't the fish eat?
Normally, feed is very important. It is the determinant whether fish grows or not. Fish is required to feed on a balanced diet. So we can't just throw anything in the pond. So feed requires to have a protein and the carbohydrates and vitamins and minerals, and fats. So all these elements must be there in that feed. We teach the fish farmers how to make feed of their own in order to reduce on the cost of feed. So even when feed is expensive, but there's no really issue, because we will teach you how to make your own feed on your farm to reduce on the cost of feed. So in terms of the quantity of feed to give the fish, the issue here is that you calculate the feed ration. The feed ration is the quantity of feed to feed the fish per day, and it depends on the number of fish that you have stocked and the average body weight of the fish. So we will teach you during our trainings, which are hands-on, we will teach you how to calculate the quantity of feed to feed the fish. And also we'll give you a feeding table. The feeding table will show you the frequency of feeding the fish, and that is dependent on the weight of the fish at that time. So whether the fish is fed 3 times or twice or 4 times or so. So fish, a small fish, if the fish is very small, it eats more. As it grows, it eats less. And you find that even the feed for the smaller fish is more expensive. The feed for the bigger fish is cheaper. So that's how the feed is. But the good news is we are able to make feed of our own on our farm, and that part we teach also during our courses, and hence we urge everybody, don't venture into fish farming without knowledge. Invest in knowledge.
There is a caller here, Dr. Kachaka. Okay. Hello?
Good evening.
Good evening, sir.
And I'm Kamayo Stumbeko. I'm calling here in Lusaka, Kanyama.
Mr. Stumbeko, go ahead and make your contribution.
My question is on our government. I come from Western Province in Senanga district. But what I found there is the police, the fisheries and the indunas, they are allowing fishermen to use mosquito nets. I don't know how you can answer me on that one. Thank you.
Dr. Kachaka.
Thank you so much.
That is a problem I also had in Luapula, that in Lake Bangweulu, people use mosquito nets to fish. What is your answer to that?
That is one of the reasons why the fish, the capture fish, the fish in the rivers, lakes and so on, is depleted. because we are capturing even the fingerlings and the fry. We capture the eggs, the fry, and the fingerlings. So we are killing the seed. We are eating the seed. You don't eat the seed. You plant the seed to give you more fruits. But now, by use of mosquito or chemicals or poison, we are killing even the seed we must plant in the water. That is not allowed. That is criminal. That is what we have done as Zambians. So, hence today, we have our natural water bodies empty without fish. Because even when the Ministry of Livestock and Fisheries stocks fingerlings, we go in the night and remove the fingerlings again. Yeah.
For what? To eat?
To eat and to sell.
As small as they are?
As small as they are. You know? So, this mentality is the mentality of death. Even in the Bible, the Lord says the seed you plant. We were eating the seed. And
there is a question. Mr. Stumbeko, Dr. Gachaka says those are criminals. Hello?
Hello, good evening.
Good evening, sir.
Mr. Njovu, calling from Chingora.
Mr. Njovu, are you coming on Friday to Kitwe?
I'll see, but since we'll see what to do. Let's try to be there.
You see, you are the people who are keeping Zambia where it is. You are just supposed to say, Pastor, I'm coming.
I'm coming, I'm coming, I'll attend.
If you're Mule Lande, if you can't move up which Pata Mwagashane, Lande, no one job.
Setera kwena programu yankula sana kwena. Na kuseshwa shachu wati
have we lost Banjo? Oh, sorry about that. Ms. Anjovu, please call. We have a few minutes before we go. What happens to those people who use the mosquito nets? Can't they be arrested?
Yes, we have a number of patrols.
Now he's saying that the police allow those people to use the mosquito nets.
Well, I think the police as an institution, they don't allow that.
It's individuals.
At times, there could be these unscrupulous officers, maybe they are bribed or so. But the police as an institution, they actually arrest such people. Yeah. So even in Mongo, Senanga, they arrest them actually. So to say that the police and the chiefs are allowing, I think is strange. They don't allow, but they go and do that illegally in the night.
When I was coming from your farm, sorry to say this.
Yes.
The other time I went to see Professor Reda.
Yes.
In the night, I saw buggered vehicles, trucks, carrying charcoal at night.
Yes.
And I stopped at the roadblock. I said, I've left 5 trucks here. Are you meaning they will pass? They said, no, Pastor, will intercept them. As I'm going, I find another 3, 4 useless vehicles carrying charcoal like I don't know. You police officers, let's pick up this call. Hello?
Hello, Chiro from Lundazi.
Mr. Chirwa from Lundazi, please talk to the nation.
Yeah. I just want to ask the gentleman there.
Dr. Kachaka.
Yes, Dr. Kachaka. I want to tell me how I can collect that natural food from the waters.
What is your question? I didn't hear it.
Okay.
You've heard the question?
I've heard the question. Okay.
Okay, Mr. Njovu, let him answer the two.
The first question is, how do we ensure that the pond has natural food? Since feed is expensive. The natural food, the detritus, the algae, the zooplankton and phytoplankton, these, you fertilize the pond. The way of fertilizing the pond is we use either inorganic fertilizers or organic fertilizers. So, in your case, the cheapest way is to use organic fertilizer. In this case, we use chicken manure. Now, the water in the pond is clear water. So, we need the water to change color from the clear color into a greenish color. Then we say the pond is fertilized. The greenish we see is not a color per se. It is the presence of aquatic plants. These are phytoplankton. That is the natural food for the fish. So you get the chicken manure, you put them in the sacks. Now remember, the manure should be without sawdust. Sawdust kills the fish. So get chicken put in the sacks and you tie the sacks. You don't offload the chicken manure suka in the pond, no. You put in the sacks and you tie, and you throw these sacks into the fish pond. Leave them there for a week or so. The color of the water will begin to change from a clear color into a greenish color. The moment it happens like that, the pond is fertilized and the natural food is already in that pond, and the fish will be able to feed on the natural food in that case.
How many bags of the can you put in the pond?
Yes, normally we just advise that the more the number of bags you throw in, the quicker the pond is fertilized in 3 days or 2 days. But if you want to measure, normally it's 50 kg of manure per square meter. So if we use inorganic fertilizers, for example urea, the measurement is 3 grams of urea per square meter. So in that case, you find the area of the pond and multiply it by 3 grams. And you'll be able to find the amount of urea in grams and convert it into kgs. And you weigh it and put in a bucket and you pour in the pond. Within 3-4 days, the water will change from a clear color into a greenish arrangement. And in that case, the pond is fertilized and the natural food is now in the pond, and the fish will feed on the natural food.
We talked about concrete pond also.
The concrete pond, because you can have a concrete fish pond or a lined pond with pond liners or an earthen pond. Now, the concrete pond is fine. The challenge we have with it is, number one, it's very expensive. Number two, the cement kills the fish. Cement, ipai and somba. So there is a treatment required to treat the cement so that it doesn't affect or kill the fish. So either you go at Bafigi and get the chemical to put to treat the cement, or we use water. So in terms of water, you have to fill the whole pond with water. Leave it for 1 week. Then remove it out. Do that 3 or 4 times. Okay. Then the 4th time, pick a fish and put it there and see and leave it overnight. If overnight the fish is still alive, then the cement is treated and we can stock the fingerlings now. So there's no harm in having a concrete pond, but you need to treat the cement because the cement, it kills fish.
Dr. Gachaka, who offloaded that, just give us the last few messages if they are there. Thank you, no call, and we have to go and rest. Kitwe, we are coming to you, and at the end of this conference, you see the advert. Make sure that you don't miss this. It's just for 1 day, Friday, and we are done. Give us the text messages, Mr. Director. No messages. Thank you. Dr. Gachaka, I must thank you. Some of these questions,
yes,
you come and answer them. I know you have had a busy day. This man is a lecturer at University of Zambia. He's a lecturer when there is the harvesting of fish. And this Sunday, he will continue with the harvest.
Yes.
There is a question that I wanted to ask you.
Okay.
I want to ask you, Doctor. I am told that this fish, like the tilapia, it is safer that people cannot come with a hook, put munyambo there, or what's this, a worm, and throw there. They can't fish. Is it true?
Fish is fish. The moment you put a worm onto a hook and throw there, the fish will actually scramble to eat. So in my farm, we have people who come to fish the fish as part of the sport.
Oh, I see.
Especially children and families on the weekends, they come and I give them the hooks. And the girls are fishing. Fish is pulling me! Fish is pulling me! Fish is pulling me! It's so interesting.
Really?
Yeah, so this is fish. So if you put a worm on a hook and you throw in there, the fish will come to eat the worm. And you can fish it out. Sure.
We'll see you tomorrow. By
Thank
the
you,
grace
Pastor.
of God.
We really appreciate
Camnet TV viewers, we will be in Kitwe on Friday. Tomorrow we have a special program for you, but our team and us are traveling to the Copper Belt. Keep watching Camnet TV, because Camnet TV is not just another channel. Listen to this advert as we go.
Join us on the 9th of October 2020
for the National Matters Conference in Kitwe. Venue: Living Water Global Church in Wusakile, opposite Wusakile Police Station. Time: 08 hours to 17 hours. Theme: Unlocking Zambia's potential through raising a generation of generational thinkers. Charges: 510 kwacha, lunch inclusive. Please note that any payments done after Wednesday the 7th of October or on the actual day of the event will attract a penalty fee of 200 kwacha. Speakers will be Dr. Collins Kachaka.
If you have a 3 liters per second, then we say in science that you qualify to get involved in fish farming because you have adequate water.
Dr. Mushalika.
Don't overlisten to people who are happy to see you poor. They don't mean any good for us. There are no people who are developed by others. All people develop themselves.
Dr. Prosper Sievu, Engineer Bernard Chuala.
You are welcome so that we can create a critical mass of participants in the avocado industry. 1 hectare in 12 months will give you no less than 1 million kwacha. Hello?
Mr. Himbai.
You planted a deep-rooted plant into a shallow-rooted. So where is it getting the nutrients? Nowhere. So that plant, it will not give you the potency. You have failed at land preparation.
Mr. Salanda.
All of them lay eggs. You can use them for eggs and also for meat. They lay at least in a year a minimum of, with the lowest, a minimum of 100 chickens each.
All the dyes, all the paints, all the lubricants, they come from a plant called castor. 34% of our medicinal elements, they come from a castor root.
Not forgetting your host, Pastor Victoria and Moses Chidora.
It is unthinkable.
Take note, limited numbers are due to COVID-19 restrictions. Make your payments through Airtel Mobile Money on 0979 75 3010 or on MTN Mobile Money on 0962 382535 or 0962 965883.
Really been impacting on so many levels.
This was really powerful, and I'm glad I didn't miss this one.
This conference has been wonderful in the sense that the knowledge that we've acquired within a day is so much overwhelming.
Should this conference come to Western Province, I urge them all to come en masse.
I didn't know that there's potential in me, and wealth was lying right where I was.
The way to go right now is agriculture.
The knowledge that we have gathered out of this meeting is immeasurable.
Hurry, don't miss this life-changing conference.